Follow, he never had time for donuts. The beat go ham, no time for cold cuts. The game like big fish came to Jonah. Yeah, I'm still independent, ain't sold a million records yet. Used to be on my checklist, big diamonds don't need a necklace. Look, we built the sound like it's double speed Tetris. I cannot build without God in it. We built the sound, you can't copy this. I never brag, it's just confidence. I never rap for your compliments. I wrote this one for the indie grind. If you ain't signed on the dotted line, can't buy my soul with no dollar signs. The industry so full of troglodytes. I don't follow trends. Run it up. Say that with my chest. Run it up. No, I will not bend. Run it up. Game time in it. Game time. I don't follow trends. Say that with my chest. I will not bend. Game time. Run it up. 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 You gotta put in that work, dog. I put the kingdom first. I know that you gotta wait for your turn sometimes to build something really sustainable. Work on your catalog, so the day that you finally pop off, they'll see it's not just a once off. You put in time, the harvest is ready, it's ripe. I thank God for the payment. That's a solid foundation. When I finally make it, I'll give God all the praises.
Tonight, from NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas, it's Week 2 of the NFL on EA Sports. The Houston Texans taking on the Minnesota Vikings.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Tonight we wrap up an intriguing Week 2 with a good Monday night matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Houston Texans. Again, everyone, with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They come in off a good win on the road, and now they hit the home opener at 1-0.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
Two teams here, each off to 1-0 starts as this one is underway on EA Sports. And the opening kickoff will not be returned as that will be a touchback. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And they are led out there by their mobile quarterback.
And he was terrific in the opener, threw 3 touchdown passes, and make no mistake about it, he was eager to get right back out and do it again. So I think we'll see him try to test his secondary quite a bit as this game goes on.
From the 31, Dalton over the middle, complete into the hands of Trimble. So the hand got inside the face mask that time. Looked like a pretty easy call.
And it was, and we saw this in their loss last week. Penalties at inopportune times that led to their demise.
So now factoring in the face mask, here's 1st and 10. To throw here, Dalton. And this is incomplete. Well played defensively, nearly had the interception, but it's 2nd down. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Dalton. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. Dalton now to pass. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Andrew Booth picks it off. And the Vikings are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. That, Charles, the first interception he's thrown here in year number 2.
And I know it's just the first one, but didn't it feel like what we saw from him last year, where he was plagued by this type of a play? And they thought that, you know, over the offseason, going into a second season, some of that would go away. Thus far, still looks a lot like his rookie year.
So here come the Vikings as they get set for their first drive. And a look here at their signal caller, the fifth-year quarterback. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Off play action. Rich. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 39-yard line. They'll try the left side with Carter. And some space here. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. 36 yards on the play. He covered a lot of ground, great blocking, and now they can sniff that end zone.
They certainly can, and because of that run, maybe you come back and fake it to him on this play and throw a little play action. Someone should break wide open.
1st and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. They'll run with Carter. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. The tale of two extremes. First carry, he went for a bundle. His second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead it works opposite.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time. Carter once more. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3. A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Cade York on now for the field goal. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. York able to send this one through, and the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive stalls out, but the field goal does get them the first points of the night.
And 3 points, not to be underestimated. How about this, right? You're on the road, you're under the lights, national television audience. This is not a dress rehearsal, partner. This is for real, and a pretty nice opening statement.
So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. Their 2nd drive here of the ball game, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense held up. It bent a little but didn't break, only giving up the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there their last time out, but boy, they have to thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Their turn now. Back out on the field, put together a good drive, and get some points of their own.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 17 carries, 52 yards.
Just an all-right day from him last week. He really didn't break out for the huge yardage he had hoped going in. I talked with him before the game, though, and he knows this is a new, fresh opportunity. He's put last week behind him, and his focus, getting some extra yardage with every carry he receives this week.
3rd down, a shot here for Dalton. Dancing to his, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Well, Zadarius Smith there getting in and bringing him to the ground. I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
The Texans send the punter out as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. The Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground. Carter. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. But the converse is, though, you've got to win those one-on-one blocks. And when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Out of the gun. They'll look to throw. Going underneath. He's got Hockenson. 2 yards on the pickup there. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. Back to throw. Rich looks again for T.J. Hockenson, and he's got him again. And this effort won't do it. He needed to get to the 45. He's a yard or 2 short. A gain of 8 there on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Obviously, they didn't get everything they wanted on that completion, but they put themselves in a spot where you've got to at least think about going for it. I know where we are on the field, but still, you've got to think about it, don't you?
Set to punt. Here's Cameron Johnston. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
And now out comes Houston. They're still in search of an initial 1st down as they come up here 1st and 10. Throwing, Dalton. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And he's going to get this from the 6 out to the 12. A pickup of 6 as they double their workspace. Throwing again on 2nd down. Dalton. This is Chase Claypool on the receiving end. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this 1st quarter. Dalton's throw there, hauled in by Claypool. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Another chance for Dalton. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. And Dalton to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Big DeMarcus Lawrence getting in there and bringing him to the ground.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a 2nd one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Here's Dalton. And that will be incomplete. And that one broken up by Martin Emerson. The Texans send the punter out as he'll kick it away for the second time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And they will take over 1st and 10. And out now come the Vikings. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. Throwing to start the drive. Rich, quick hitter here, it's complete. It'll be a gain of 5, and that will bring up 2nd down. Operating from the gun. Rich finding Hockenson here on the out route. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 2. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that. Against a team coming off a win, just as your team did the previous week, you talk about being physical all game long. Sometimes being physical is just being on the spot and helping force the incompletion.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. It's taken to the 26. 43 yards on the punt, 7-yard return, and the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Last series for him, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's 2nd down. From the 36, Dalton. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. The offense has to love that because that was just a dump down, and then he turned something out of seemingly nothing.
And the best quarterbacks understand that dumping it down is often a good play, a better play than even what was drawn up.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. So Dalton now. Over the middle, complete. It's Hudson. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. On 3rd down, Hudson. And he's able to pick up the 1st down before he's tackled right at the 10. 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the 1st down marker was and getting there.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. This will be caught at about the 6. And he gets halfway home from the 10 to the 5 on a pickup of 5. On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Texans have answered that early field goal to take a first quarter lead. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know that sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Extra point from McManus is good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. So that drives 7 plays in length. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Now Carter to start the drive. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. The numbers on the ground for Carter a week ago. 25 carries, 95 yards, and a score.
As a good start to the season, they got the win, and they were able to establish a good running game. Nothing that just blew people away, but a nice solid base to get things started, and they expect that to get tuned up and get better as the season moves on.
He was trying to find Justin Jefferson there, and it's 3rd down. Looking to throw. Rich. Oh, that one sailed a bit, but the catch is still made. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes us forward for about 6.
He was taken down at the 50-yard line. It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Working with a 2nd and 4. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. He'll get this into the hands of Van Jefferson. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And here's a handoff out of the gun. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Well, CD, a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
On 1st and 10, it's Carter. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Another tote for Carter. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. They went with the run-pass option, and I don't know if the option really mattered there because the defense was ready.
So many times you put the defense at a disadvantage because you have those multiple options, but when they read their keys and play it correctly, sometimes the result goes in their favor.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 11. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 14. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. Charles, to move the chains that time, they had to complete it into double coverage, and they got it done.
And it's never easy overcoming multiple defenders, but he sure made it look simple. Found the right spot to exploit and won his one-on-two matchup.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. Back to throw. Rich. And he will find his man on the outside. They'll try to run for it with Carter. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
They're right there at the 1. No gain, but don't let that stop you. Line back up and keep going at them. If I'm them, I'm thinking about going at it 4 straight times.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Rich. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Van Jefferson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are once again back in front. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. Then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Houston set to take over. As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game, and they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive, so we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there? I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Dalton. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Andy Dalton. He's got a man open. It's Chase Claypool. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Play action here with Dalton. And he will slide to a halt at the end of that one. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
Certainly not the way they drew it up in the playbook, but that's why they love this guy back there. He sees things breaking down, and he's more than capable of finding an escape route and still getting a decent gain.
from Viking territory now. They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Here's Dalton. That's going to be caught. It's Jacoby Myers. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. That catch now puts him on the doorstep of 500. It's his 499th reception. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Hands it off out of the gun. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The sack there by Rasheem Green. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Another try after the 1st down sack. Dalton, quick slant, finding Claypool. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line. Despite only needing one, Dalton to throw. And he wisely will throw that one away. Now McManus will line up for the field goal. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by McManus is good, and that will knot us up at 10. So it was 4th down and 1 in the red zone, but they elect to take just the 3.
And I'm a little bit surprised that that's exactly what they decided to do. I kind of thought that they would go for it in that situation. But sometimes I'm sure you just think to yourself, take the 3 points, put them in your pocket, and move on.
And the Vikings now heading onto the field. The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll, looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle against the opposing defense. And since they came off the field, I'll guarantee you all they want to do is get back out there because they know they have the upper hand on that defense right now.
8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Carter straight ahead to about the 40-yard line. They'll go again with Carter. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. A yard in the wrong direction makes 3rd down tougher. 3rd down and 9. The defense was ready for the run-pass option, diagnosed it perfectly.
Not only did they stack him up at the point of attack, but he was met by a host of light-colored jerseys.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Looking to throw. Rich. Got an open man finding Jefferson. And he will have a Vikings 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 47. Back to throw. Rich steps away to his left. Middle of the field to Jefferson. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Here we go. 19 Tiger.
On first down, Rich, complete, Jefferson the target. And he's down into the red zone at the 16 after a gain of 16. 1st and 10. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This one brought in by Jefferson. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 4 yards remain on 2nd down. Ball on the 10. And they'll run here with Carter. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal. All tied up at 10. 2 minutes left in the first half. Looking to throw. Rich. Flushed out right. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. It's their quarterback with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Vikings are going to take the lead.
Well, I'd have to say that for him, that was an all-encompassing drive, because it was his arm that got his team down to that point, but his legs that finished the deal. Give him credit for making it happen.
A York on now for the extra point. He's got it as they go up by a total of 17-10. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. And now out comes Houston. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Daniil Hunter charges in there hard and drops him for a loss of 12 from that outside linebacker position. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Another try after the first down sack. Dalton will find his man. Terrace Marshall complete. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. The Texans send the punter out as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It'll be a net of only 30 here. 40-yard punt, 10 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And the football going back to the Vikings offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And he's going to have a first down, and they get into field goal range here at the 29.
A gain of 21 yards. And the Vikings first down.
Working with the lead, trying to get to 2-0. Here's 1st and 10.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted.
Will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. An excellent play there, CD, on the pick 6, and I think were they a nickel? Did they have an extra DB out there?
Yeah, Brandon, I think they were in standard nickel, not the Buffalo, as teams like to call it, meaning 3 safeties for big nickel. They just wanted to take away the quarterback's throwing lanes, and that's exactly what they did, and came through with a big-time pick 6.
McManus's point after is good, and that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. 17-17 the score, all even to this point as the kick's away. Taken in at the 3. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The white flag coming out as they line up to kneel on it. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, where you see the final score there. Tyreek Hill, 2 touchdown catches in the victory. From there, we're off to check out another game. And they were victorious in that one over the visiting Atlanta Falcons. DJ Moore, a touchdown catch in the victory. Finally, we finish at MetLife Stadium to see what's going on with the Jets. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Cincinnati Bengals. Breece Hall, a touchdown run in the victory. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team has been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defenses show up in the second half? Find out. We give it back to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Taking it about the 1. And he returns this to the 22. And the Vikings set to go on offense to begin the third quarter. This offense ready for the first drive of the third quarter. Well, quarters number 1 and 2 entertaining. We saw some good offense points put up, Charles, and all tied on the scoreboard.
And it sets us up for what could be a really fun second half because we've seen both sides score almost at will here in the first half. And now, here in the second half, getting the ball first, you've got to think, hey, we can go out and really run our offense the way we did in the first half. But if I'm a defensive player, all I'm thinking is, can I make a play to really help out my team and break this streak of offense?
And he'll take this up to the 30, a gain of 4. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball, and I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Rich to Jefferson on the slant. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 43. Operating from the gun, Rich. Wide open receiver, complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
And the Vikings first down.
Get it. Hawk 70. Hawk 70.
They go play action here on 1st down. Throw right side complete to Carter. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
On 2nd down, a run with Carter. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. A field goal would get him the lead, but that's not what they're shooting for as they come up on 3rd down. Operating from the gun. Rich, hard throw, incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
York able to send this one through. And with that, they take the lead here 20-17. Now, they don't get a touchdown here in the opening drive of the 3rd quarter, but I think maybe you still say mission accomplished as they come away with the lead.
No, absolutely. You keep the pressure on, right? You go downfield, get some points up on the board, and hope that you've motivated your defense to take the field and hold that lead.
So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this 3rd quarter. And they find themselves down on the scoreboard following the field goal a moment ago.
And I think even though they trail in the game now, I would consider that a win for their defense, and that's probably what they're telling the offense when they get to the bench. Hey, the onus is on you guys now. Get back out there and get us the lead back.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. On 2nd and 9, Dalton. There's Trimble, the tight end. Just a gain of a couple there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Yeah, that one was covered pretty well because they were trying to leak the tight end out into the flat. I think they were hoping he could catch it and turn upfield and pick up the 1st down.
Passing, it's Dalton. Completion here to Claypool. And they're going to get him down well short of the 1st as he can only get this to the 30. Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be 4th down.
They didn't get the 1st down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the 1st. The Texans send the punter out as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So here are the Vikings to take over. They're in the driver's seat right now, and they were winners last week over the Seattle Seahawks, so trying to keep that momentum moving in the positive direction. Throwing on 1st down. Rich. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football. A lot of bodies there in the middle of the field, and that one intercepted.
Yeah, he's looking for his tight end running a drag route across the field, and normally you'd like him to work a little bit further outside. Here the throw is a little early, and it winds up in the hands of the defender.
Well, Houston's offense taking over again, and down by a field goal. They'll take over with excellent field position following the interception.
Their D gets the INT. Now what can Dalton do? And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. How about that? Their quarterback, 26 yards.
And the Texans have taken the lead here in this third quarter.
And maybe the defense got so caught up in him throwing the football, they forgot he can take off too.
And you often hear about the quarterback being the unaccounted for guy as a runner. Well, even on a passing play, he's unaccounted for as a runner, and he turned it into a nice gain.
A very nice run, and it turns into 6 points. Extra point from McManus is good, and that will make this a 4-point game. The Texans kick team as they'll send this one away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here.
This offense returning out there, and really, you remember the last drive, Charles, it was over before it even began. They threw the interception on the very first play.
And what that means is for all these guys, it's been a while since they've been out there going full speed, so they've got to get everyone back out there, run a couple of your go-to plays, make sure you get your offense oiled up a little bit. They've got to be able to start fast, but they've got to be efficient as well.
Especially the quarterback.
19 yards that time for number 19.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
Now they'll run on the draw.
And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
To throw on 2nd down.
Rich. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
From the gun on 3rd down.
Rich. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a 1st down for them, too.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Looking to throw. Rich. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete.
And he'll be brought down at the 27. That's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
Back to throw again. Forced out to his left.
This to the sideline and nearly intercepted. Oh, he had that in his grasp. Couldn't get it. Instead, it'll bring up 3rd down. He'll drop this underneath to Carter.
And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
Going for it, it's Carter. And this is going to come up well short as they stop him on 4th down. So here are the Texans to take over. They were winners last week, defeating the New York Giants. They lead this one as well right now as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now Dalton. And that's complete to the right side. It's Marshall. That'll go for a gain of 7. And 3rd and 1 now. One back in the backfield. He'll get the carry. And he is going to have a Texans 1st down as they're able to convert, albeit not by much, on 3rd and a yard.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need one. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Good yardage there on 1st down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making 1st downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your 2nd down play.
And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. 2 yards, good enough for a 1st. Looked like a pretty smart decision that time to keep the football by the quarterback.
It was, because you saw how the runner got swarmed. So you've got to pull the ball from his arms, keep it yourself, and get what you can. And the most underrated player on this play is the running back. Because even if he doesn't have the ball, he has to act like he does in order to attract the defense.
10 yards there, good enough for a Texan 1st down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Dalton here from the gun. Open man left side. It's the tight end Trimble. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 30. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. Shaquille Griffin in on the stop defensively. They run a draw here on 2nd down. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
An awful lot of congestion in the middle 3rd of the field, but how about our defensive tackle right there? He didn't just hold the line. He provided some push and smacked the ball carrier down for a loss.
They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Back to throw. Dalton. That's complete into the hands of Myers. And this will not get close to the 1st down marker as he's brought down at the 26. He has now hit number 500. Charles, that is his 500th NFL career.